So here's my big chance to speak Tagalog, the main dialect spoken by Filipinos. Anong balita, kapatid? That means, what's happening, my brother? I've known quite a few Filipinos over my lifetime, and I've never met one that I didn't like. I was born in 1964, the same year the San Francisco Giants signed Masanori Murakami, the first Japanese player in MLB history, and the last. It would be 30 years before another Japanese-born player would enter the majors. His name was Nomo. But the very first player of Asian descent to play in Major League Baseball was Robert Rudolph Balcena, nicknamed Bob or Bobby. Outfielder, MLB debut, September 16th, 1956. You know, when I tell you the exact date of a player's debut, it means he made baseball history. And on this day, Bob didn't do anything special in that game. He just showed up and was himself. A smiling 5'6", 155-pound, 30-year-old Filipino man from California. Bobby Balcena became the first Asian in MLB history to appear in a big league game when he came in for the Cincinnati Redlegs on this day in 1956. He was compact and powerfully built, strong and very fast. How fast? 10 seconds flat in the 100-yard dash. His pro career started in 1948 in the Sunset League, where he led that league with a .369 batting average. His first look at the bigs came in 1952 when St. Louis Browns owner and GM Sportshirt Bill Veeck had Bobby attend spring training. Sportshirt was always looking for ways or gimmicks to up the attendance, and had been in favor of integration of MLB early on, so it figures he'd bring in this little Asian fella and promote him as the smallest player in big league ball. Didn't work out for either one of them, but Bob Balcena was a star in the Pacific Coast League during the 1950s, playing in nearly 2,000 games, hitting 134 home runs with 441 RBIs. He was the Seattle Rainiers on and off throughout the 1950s, playing with them, more than 500 games for the club, and was a fan favorite from the start. In 1955, Seattle's new manager and their former pitching sensation Fred Hutchinson purged half the team, releasing 13 players and filling the roster with former big leaguers and Bobby. First game of the season in front of 10,000 plus fans at Seattle's Sick Stadium, Bobby hit a home run and made what was called a remarkable catch in the outfield. The Rainiers would go on to be the PCL Champs in 1955. Not only loved in Seattle, but everywhere he went. A real hustler on the field, but it was his outgoing personality, good nature, infectious smile, and all the time he spent with the kids. These attributes are what endeared him with the fans. Bobby's locker was next to the training room, and he would greet everyone who passed with a smile. There's some great photos of him on the web. He's smiling in almost all of them. One photo shows him in the locker room after a game with Bill Kennedy, Leo Reghtti, and Leo's young son. A snapshot of life in the PCL. Great photo. I always had a photographer's eye, even as a 5-year-old kid looking at my parents' album covers or my sports cards. I could tell you which was a good photo and why. When I became a photographer, this came in real handy because being able to frame a shot properly is the difference between an okay photo and one that will get you paid. Bob Balcena was the smallest player on the team, even shorter than the 5'7" Vic Lombardi, his teammate. But Bob was the fittest player on the team and had a pull-up bar installed in the training room where he would bust out 100 at a time. Our dad saw him play a few times over the years and has one of his autographs in his book next to Vic Lombardi's, which you saw on Vic's show that I just did. Also, 2 of Bobby's signatures are on some seal scorecards my dad has from 1955. Both of his signatures are next to Gene Verble's for some reason. Bobby Balcena was a PCL All-Star in 1956 and was leading the league in doubles and hitting .295 when he got his big chance and was called up to the majors by the Cincinnati Redlegs late in September 1956. He played in 7 games for them and had 2 at-bats and scored 2 runs as a pinch runner, and was invited by the Reds after the season to attend their spring training. He didn't make the cut and was sent back to Seattle. After baseball, he taught PE in the Seattle area for a short spell before moving back to his hometown for good, where he worked as a longshoreman. Born in San Pedro, California, Bob was a star on the high school football, baseball, and track teams. A local legend, Bob Balcena has a bronze plaque on the San Pedro SportsWalk of Fame, along with Wilt Chamberlin, Larsen, Tommy Lasorda, and many other well-known sporting legends from that area. Bob Balcena passed away at the age of 64 from natural causes while sitting in his favorite chair watching TV. Nobody found him for 2 days. For being the first Asian in the majors, he was a hero to proud Filipinos along the West Coast and across the U.S., and he became a legend in the Philippines as the first baseball All-Star. He was a role model for other Asians, an inspiration for the smaller player, and a ray of hope for kids who are little in stature that you can make it with skill, heart, and determination, even if you're the smallest guy on the team. When Bobby Balcena would talk about making it up in the big leagues, he would always say with a smile, "I wasn't up there long, but I was there." Not only was he there, he was the first Asian to get there.